Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Racing for round 3 of the inaugural LNR Championship. This is one of the brand new circuits on the F1 2020 game. It is time for the tricky Hanoi Street Circuit and the Vietnam Grand Prix. If you weren't with us at LNR over the last 2 weeks, it has been pretty plain sailing so far for Total P's in the Mercedes, one from pole position on the first race in Australia. Pole win and fastest lap in Bahrain means he's got 59 out of a possible 60 points so far this season. Andenge managed to finish second in both of those races, so he's currently second on 36 points. There have been quite a few close races, quite a few safety cars, and to be honest, given the way things are around the Hanoi circuit, it wouldn't be too surprising to see similar for what looks like it's going to be a wet one-shot qualifying, exactly what the drivers did not want, I am sure. So this is just going to make things even trickier for those who perhaps might have struggled around this circuit. Quite a few drivers do, not really a circuit that is enjoyed by many. We'll see who has the best possible performance tonight. And we'll go on board then with Treminator in the Red Bull. Takes us around this Hanoi Street Circuit as he heads down. He's actually on the wet tyres and most of the others on the intermediate, so that is interesting indeed. Through turn 1 and then along turn 2. The track limits are pretty liberal around this track, but it does let you get away with that. Then heading into 3, Crux is retired from the session already. You can just see how much Treminator is struggling. Seems to be in the middle though. He heads through 4 and 5, flat through 6, which is a DRS though in the race, but not here obviously in qualifying in these conditions. Down towards the roundabout then at 6 and 7. Turn 8, you can take multiple lines through this corner, but it's easier to just stay wide ever so slightly just so you can straighten up the car to get yourself through 9, but it is a possible overtaking opportunity in the race. Heading now down towards turn 10. Flat out once again. DRS will be active here if it is in the dry conditions, and then down towards the heavy braking zone. That is turn 11. Hairpin, very similar to what you have at Shanghai, just the other way round with this slight left-hand kink on the exit either for 12. Coming towards the end of the second sector, and it looks as though Total P's is going to be towards the top once again, braking hard for turn 13, and then you've got this extremely tricky S section. 14, 15, you can see Treminator there is actually wiped out part of his front wing, so that's really, no, it doesn't seem like he's got any damage. I'm surprised actually from such a big collision he's actually managed to get away with that. So now coming through turn 20, you want to stay tight to the right hand side through 21. There is the pit entry. You want to do that to give you the best possible line through turn 22. Then nice and careful you accelerate out of the penultimate corner, heading through turn 23. Total P's on pole position once again. Treminator on the wet tyres, only a 154.941, so it remains to be seen whether they were the best possible tyre. Mars attacking is going to be the last person across the line with a 203.8, but at least he set a lap time. There's a couple of drivers, Cruxy, and I'm not sure who the other one was, so this could be very interesting indeed. Total P's then, pole position. Reminder, he'll get 4 bonus points for that as long as he finishes the race, and judging by the last few races, he's a certainty to do that. Aylan second, Andenge third. Jonathan Cox 2.2 seconds off of pole position gets you 4th. That is a colossal gap. Quite often we see entire grids fitting in that gap. Paulie Orange just behind him 5th. Energetic 6 is 6th. Ole in his first race 7th. KRC 8th. Fatality 9th. Rick in 10th, William Shaw in 11th, Etheridge 12th, Breadstick 13th, Treminator, the only person on the wets, was 14th, 6 points 2 off the pace, Harrison 15th, Gods 16th, Mars Attacking 17th, Frog Lover disqualified in the racing point, and Cruxy retired from the session. So this should be very interesting indeed. We will see how it goes around here then, how it goes for the race. Will Treminator carry on this fantastic form he's got at the moment of, well, not Treminator, Total P's I should say, carry on this fantastic form. Thankfully for everyone else in this race, it is dry, so I'll have to see what sort of setups they have gone for. Did they go for a more downforcey setup, which would definitely help you through the middle sector and the first sector, but you'll leave you in big trouble on that long straight from turn 5 to 6, and again all the way out of 9 down to turn 11. You could be in trouble if you have got a lot of downforce on the car there with overtakes happening. So let's see how this race goes here in Hanoi. We'll see what tyres everyone has gone for. Normally the top 10 have to start on the tyres that they have qualified on. However, of course, it would be a bit cruel to force for top 10 to start on the intermediates. But let us know in the chat who you guys think is going to be near the front today. Is Total P going to make it 3 wins out of 3, or will someone else be able to stop him taking another consecutive win? We'll be back next week as well for China, then Holland, then Spain, then a 1 week break before Monaco, basically following what the original calendar was before we end in February 2021 around the Yas Marina circuit for round 22 here at LNR. So we're going on to the formation lap now before we have 28 laps around this circuit. We'll just see what tyres everyone is on. Quite a mixture as we expected. Top 3 going for the softs. Only others on the softs are Ole, Willen, Breadstick and Cruxy. I think Cruxy's having a bit of trouble on the formation lap here alongside Harrison. Harrison's on the hards alongside Treminator. Everyone else on the medium. So unsurprisingly, I think from my perspective, medium's the preferred tyre. Total P's, as you can see, it's a bit darker than normal. Go for the dusk setting. Late night racing when it's not possible to race at night. He has got the best possible view. Aylin behind, and Enge, who's finished second both times to Total P's. He is in third on the grid, so will he be able to hold on to that victory? We'll have to wait and see. Will he be able to hold on to third, maybe even go up to second once again? It might be nice actually to see a bit of a mix-up. Jonathan Cox, third in the championship. Very consistent so far, fifth in both races, but he knows if he maybe just cleans it up and avoids some of the penalties, he might be in a good position though, starting on the medium tyres. We have got some fast drivers as well around him. Haas obviously looking very good at the moment with Aylin and Paulie Orange. Haas come up with 4th in the constructors. Aylin's got himself a podium in the first race but was upset last time. Paulie Orange, surprising to see a man of his calibre. 7th place, his best finish for the first 2 races. Tried something different on the strategy after a late safety car last time out. Decided to stay on the tyres he was on and see if he could make it till the end. Unsurprisingly, he struggled with that, so 7th was the best he could manage. And we've got a few unknowns. Ole in the Ferraris put himself in a very good slot in 7th place, so we'll have to see how he can do this time around, and I don't think it'll be too long before we find out, as Total P's and Aylin have got themselves disqualified. It's only from the formation lap, so it won't cause them too much problems, but they won't be able to heat up the tyres maybe as much as they want. And a quick mention for Rick in the Alfa Romeo, making his debut as a reserve tonight, replacing Liam MD. And Alfa Romeo have struggled at the moment, only got 2 points so far, in fact racing points. Only team without any points, and as you can see, they're right at the back of the grid at the moment with Mars attacking and Frog Lover, who's just coming into his grid slot, so he'll be the final car on the grid slot. Who is going to get the best possible start on the run down to turn 1? It's very tight and fiddly first part of the lap. We get a fantastic view of the grandstand, but we've got 5 lights here in Vietnam. And we are underway for round 3 of LNR action. It's a decent start from Total P's, getting ahead of Aylin straight away. And Denge is going to try and go all the way around the outside into turn 1. That'll be a brave move if he can do so. Energetic 6, you can see battling in the background as well. But the front 3, unsurprisingly, being on the softer tyres, getting away. And Total P's just holding off Aylin, who's only just managed to sneak ahead of Denge at this point in the race. Further back, it's Jonathan Cox, Paulie Orange, Energetic 6. Everyone seems to have made it through the first corner cleanly. In fact, Vicky, as I say that, Vicky just travelling slowly, but he's still in the race. So Total P still leading, and Denge all over the back of Aylin at this moment in time. He's absolutely flying around in the early stages. We'll go through the orders as they've got another yellow flag, and that is actually for Total P's teammate. Harrison has had a spin. He's able to continue without any damage, but we'll check them. The position changes on lap 1. Breadstick, 7 positions. That is an absolutely stonking start from the Williams driver. So using those soft tyres well to get traction off the line. You can see the slipstreaming down the straight. You can see some swapping further behind as well, as Cruxy trying to get past Frog Lover and trying to get past Treminator as well. In fact, there's a little tap from Frog Lover onto the back of Treminator. That forces the Red Bull wide. He won't be too happy about that. And in the end, Treminator drops down to 17th position. But already, Total P's just escaping at the front of the race. And maybe Shame to say, maybe again we're looking for a race for second place, although with Aylan being a long way ahead of Andenge, quite spaced out already, maybe even a race for third or fourth. Paulie Orange right on the back of Jonathan Cox has gone very wide into turn 22 there, but not really able to overtake unless you get alongside it. Jonathan Cox just tapping the wall ever so slightly, getting away without damaging his car. You can see Paulie Orange trying to go down the inside into turn 1. You've got Breadstick there as well. Frog Lover gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's been a disastrous race so far for the Racing Point driver. Breadstick there managing to get ahead of Paulie Orange, so he's been driving fantastically so far. We do have a bit of ghosting, so hopefully that will fix itself. But out in front, as the order completely changes itself, it is still Total P's at the moment, looking nice and calm at the front. Reminder, you need to be within a second of the car in front at the DRS point. First time they'll be able to use DRS is on the run from 6 and 7, so on the other side of this straight, but there are quite big gaps at the front of the field. You can see Breadsticks now managed to get ahead of Jonathan Cox, who's finding himself having to bend from Paulie Orange, but Jonathan Cox has got fantastic straight line speed. He could be nearly 3 wide here down the straight. Breadstick on the outside. Jonathan Cox has just managed to get ahead. Paulie Orange trying to follow through as well. Breadstick on the... Ooh, Paulie Orange nearly lost it there. I was about to say Breadstick on the soft tyre, so you'd expect him to be quicker over in the next couple of laps at least. May slow down after that, but Jonathan Cox is holding on to that 4th position. Breadstick in 5th, Paulie Orange 6th. Big gaps really appearing in the field. The front 3 on their own. These 3 really on their own. Back to Fatality, who's then got 2 Renaults. Willem Shaw, who had a disastrous race, as Frog Lover has retired from the session, and that has brought out a full safety car. Not to go into the pits there, so will we see any pit stops? We have seen some, and Denge managed to get in time. Jonathan Cox, we've seen a lot of drive-through penalties and various penalties actually appear on the screen. I saw one for a major collision there as well, so Frog Lover, Might Love Frogs, is not enjoying this Vietnam track. Disastrous start for him in qualifying, and he's not too happy actually with Ricky in the chat, the reserve, who's lost his front wing. So has there been contact between these two, and that has brought out the safety car? It definitely looks that way. Definitely looks like there has been some contact in this race already. Aylan then in 2nd place at the moment, and Denge will be the leader of those who has pitted. I don't believe these are quite showing the right order, as Ricky gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Andenge on those medium tyres, 9th position. He will close right up to these guys, who they have now caught up to the safety car. So if Total P's and Aylan wanted to pit, they've probably lost their opportunity. It's glad to see a few of you guys are enjoying this race so far. We've not seen a lot of it, but Total P is still in the lead. Aylan 2nd. Fatality he's managed to get back past Willem Shaw, who obviously had to let him by, but a lot of midfield bunch. Paulie Orange as Breadstick, and Jonathan Cox was actually dropped behind both of those two, so he was ahead before the pit stops, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. Obviously because Paulie Orange and Jonathan Cox have gone on to the medium tyres again, even if they wanted to do the race without pitting, they're going to have to pit once again, because you have to use 2 types of tyres, as we see more penalties for severe collisions as it all bunches up. That's a very common feature of this game under the safety car, and as I say that, you get probably another 2 there for various drivers. So all the pack pretty much closing up at the moment, and Ricky, who is a long way back. So normally the safety car forces you to wait, as we have seen Andenge now coming to the pits. That's interesting timing, I must say, because he'd already made 1 pit stop. So is he putting the hard tyres on and going towards the end? What is Andenge going for here? Or is he one of those who earns himself a 5-second penalty and thinks, I'll just serve this under the safety car? Looks like it's the latter. The game does let you serve these 5-second penalties under the safety car, so that, not technically in the F1 rules, but if the game lets you do it, might as well do it. Might as well take advantage of that. That is going to drop him a long way down the order, though. Practically, well, almost in last. There's only going to be 1 car behind him, but that is Ricky, who is a long way away. He's absolutely flying around. He's damaged his front wing. He's going to be coming into the pits again. Alfa Romeo are going to be running out of tyres, running out of carbon fibre, running out of budget maybe to keep Ricky going. And normally the game likes everyone to be bunched up. So we'll have to see if there's going to be another lap, because everyone apart from Andenge will be on the back of that Mercedes AMG supercar at the moment. But Total P's and Aylan having not pitted. We'll see who else hasn't gone into the pits for top 8 at the moment. So Paulie Orange, leader of those who have pitted. But in a good position, maybe to get his best finish of the season. 9th in the first race and with the fastest lap after he admits himself getting involved in a bit too many incidents. 7th last time around in Bahrain, so his teammates had a podium so far, and that's what's got them 4th in the championship, and they're looking good at the moment. 2nd in the race at the moment is Aylan, and this man Paulie Orange leading out of everyone who has done that pit stop, as we go to see what tyres he's on. A lot of these have gone for the mediums that have pitted, a few going for the softs. I haven't seen the sign that the safety car's coming in, and no, it will be carrying on for another lap at least. Hopefully Ricky will be able to do a clean lap. Otherwise we might be waiting even longer for this to go on. But at the moment then, Total P's leading, Aylan in 2nd, Fatality in 3rd position, Energetic 6th, 4th, Etheridge on his comeback after missing the last race is 5th, Treminator, Mars attacking, Harrison, Paulie Orange and Breadstick the top 10 as we just move on to lap 5 out of 28 at the LNR Season 1 Vietnam Grand Prix. This could be a very interesting restart period. Those on the soft tyres, not using as much obviously under the safety car. It's about 2 laps for everyone. As Ricky actually looks as though he's got a barrel full of understeer in that car. Maybe just pushing a bit too hard through those S's as he tries to catch up the pack. He should just about do it by the end of this lap, I reckon. So hopefully we'll be back underway again. There was a crash, seems like an age ago now, on lap 2. Involving Frog Lover and Ricky, and that is why we've got this safety car period here. Total P's leading, Aylan 2nd, Fatality just quietly sneaking his way up. Not had a lot of 4th place last time around in Bahrain in his only race. The only points Ferrari have got are currently 4th and 15th, but obviously Ole started a lot higher up than that and has pitted, so the chance for a double point score maybe for the Ferrari guys. It will be interesting to see how these guys cope when it comes to having to pit. Will the safety car be coming in this lap? It's usually around the 1st sector point where it says it, and well, 2nd sector point, and there we go, safety car is in this lap. So Total P's, he's now leading everyone around. Car number 2 in the Mercedes, he's been driving like anything but a number 2. He's been absolutely fantastic so far this season, and if for whatever reason Mercedes in real life, Hamilton or Bottas miss a race, is Van Dorn in his number 2 who would be the reserve driver, so we might actually get a chance to see that this season. Hopefully we don't for Lewis and Valtteri's sake, but what can Total P's do now? When will he go? Safety car in the pit lane so he can just go whenever he wants, and I think it's a bit early now. I'm guessing round about the penultimate, oh, shows what I know, I was going to say around the penultimate corner, but he's gone now, tried to catch a few of these guys napping. Maybe some of those on colder tyres will struggle, and he's already built up a decent lead. So Total P's, as the safety car is in, we're back to green flag racing on lap 6. Total P's leading from Aylan, Fatality. Got close to some of the on their fresh tyres, although when I say that, Andenge sending one down the inside of William Shaw. So that is for Williams trying to get back up the field after having to make 2 pit stops in this period. He is up into 16th place, and Paulie Orange has managed to get ahead of Harrison as well, as now under pressure from Breadstick, and Denge getting himself a penalty. You see there, Harrison going to the inside, hasn't got the momentum though. Paulie Orange getting up ahead of Mars attacking, and Breadstick getting ahead of Harrison, but already Total P's has just absolutely left the field. Total P's just looks almost unstoppable, unless some of these guys step their game up. I know it's very early. He could win all 22 races. He has been looking that good so far this season. Paulie Orange now in the slipstream of Treminator. Treminator has dropped back from these guys. Those harder tyres obviously not warming up as well as the mediums and the softs as those that you would expect. Terminator's actually got a bit deep into the hairpin, and Paulie Homage nearly catches him, but that doesn't happen. We see there a time penalty for William Shaw for corner cutting. Support for Racing Point from Frog Lover, who's unfortunately retired, and they are still in the points, and William Shaw has actually left this session. Not sure if he's disconnected. I saw Van Denge getting very sideways there, so William Shaw still driving around on track. Ricky's been in the wall again, and he's just retired on purpose, and if that brings out a safety car, then, well, that is not... It's not ideal. There's too many people who do that in league racing now, who just... The race is going bad for him. If you want to retire, pull into the pits. Thankfully, it hasn't caused a safety car. Marzatekin has come into the pits, but that could have easily ruined everyone's races as Ricky has retired. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a few more in this race at this moment in time. Total P's first. Alan is in second. This moment in time. Fatality in third. It is getting very close. It's getting very close at the moment further back. We're seeing Jonathan Cox now trying to get past Terminator. Will be another lap before DRS is activated, but even if it wasn't, you don't need it on this straight. It's only later on. Terminator sitting duck. Nothing they can really do to defend from Jonathan Cox here, and I think his teammate KRC is going to try and make it 3 wide from turn 10. That is incredibly risky, and someone's ended up with some front wing damage. I feel, unfortunately for him, it is Terminator, so I think KRC just trying to go down the inside there. 3 wide into turn 10. It's possible, but got to be hardly a cigarette paper between them, and that has not happened. William Shaw's disconnected car still driving around it again. Why not just carry on and see what you can do? You might get lucky, because this is going to be a race of attrition. There are going to be a lot of retirements. Total P's though, just driving around on his own, as Ole is now retired from the race. That is at the hairpin. They must have got extremely deep there. DRS is enabled. Dropping like flies. We're only on lap 8. We're on board with Marzatekin, who's just on his own now at the back of the field on lap 16, serving his drive-through penalty, of course. God's coming in to the pit, so I wonder if he's got damage in the Alfa Romeo. It has not been a good race for the Alfa team so far, so God's coming down the pit lane. We're seeing Paulie Homage getting ahead of Etheridge at turn 3, 4 and 5. That is not a conventional overtaking point. I do wonder, did I just see a bit of missing front wing on that McLaren? No, all there. So a very good move from Paulie Homage. And that's really compromised Etheridge down this straight. Breadstick with the DRS. Not able to do anything, but he'll be looking very good on the next straight. Maybe it's a turn 8, but you don't want to overtake there, because obviously you'll just give the McLaren DRS, and in the end he's forced to back off. So that allows KRC to get a fantastic run on the Williams. Lost all momentum, did Breadstick there. They're both going to have DRS on the McLaren. We've seen 3 wide once already. Down here, bump draft him his way along. Normally you want to tap a bit softer than that if you want to go for the bump draft, but KRC is through. Breadstick getting through as well, and I think he's just spooked KRC into going ever so slightly wide there. So that has allowed, oh, there's contact KRC in the wall. Not sure what instigated that. He was getting very close, because Jonathan Cox and Nandenge, I think, were starting to get involved in that, and Etheridge was obviously there as well. So KRC carrying on, which is what I like to see, in case you haven't got that clear from commentary earlier on. But he will obviously come into the pits, really compromise his race. He will drop a long way down, and you can see Cruxy having to back off quite severely just to avoid the stricken Red Bull at the moment. See if anyone else did actually get any damage in that. Breadstick managed to get through cleanly. I think KRC, I think Image did as well, and Jonathan Cox just letting Andenge by now, perhaps knowing that he'll get DRS down the next straight, but Andenge will have a lot more grip still at this point in the race. Tyres only really used. There's Jonathan Cox taking the eSport driver line there. The game lets you do that with the track limits. I'm not a fan of it, but there we go, nothing I can do about it. And if you're not going to get punished for that, you can see Jonathan Cox might have got a warning, who knows, but he's down in 9th place, and after starting in 4th, luckily for him, got away with any damage. So be interested to see how the strategies work out, if there'll be any more safety cars, because they will be able to go a lap or 2 longer now. See, Andenge has got an absolutely fantastic run out of turn 8 and 9, and that is going to be a straightforward move. Before we've even got to the DRS zone, he'll be able to open that flap on the rear wing just to confirm he's now up into 7th place, and despite having to make those 2 pit stops, it's not cost him too much really. He's catching up to his teammate who's only made the 1. You can see Energetic 6, Paulie Orange still leading out of those who haven't made a pit stop. Energetic 6 and the top 3 yet to make one. So now that Paulie Orange has got ahead of the Williams, he's got a bit of free air and will have better pace, but Fatality won't be pitting for quite a while. And you can just see trick to these final quarter sector, just going a bit slow around here to get a better racing line. And I believe Paulie Orange, I'm not sure if he deals use the racing line, but if he does, that's what it is telling you to do. You want to get the best possible one into 22, and it is a possible overtaking manoeuvre if the car in front makes a mistake. Jonathan Cox, you can see he's just got so much more pace than Etheridge at the moment, it seems. I think that might have been partly what caused that collision. The McLaren struggling at the moment. Jonathan Cox down the inside into turn 1, straight forward for the AlphaTauri driver. Car number 25, last used by John Eric Verne in F1, who of course drove for Toro Rosso, this team's predecessor. Jonathan Cox has got himself up into 8th position at the moment. He now tries to catch up to Andenge, but out in front, we haven't spoke for him a while because it's just been straightforward for these two. Total P's in the lead. Alan in 2nd place. You can barely see the Mercedes ahead of him. You can't see anyone behind him at the moment, so things are going well for him. Fatality in 3rd. He's soon going to have Paulie Orange for attention, especially now that the Haas is in the DRS zone. So Haas team looking very good at the moment, sitting pretty to possibly even get a win. Who knows how this alternative strategy will work out, but Paulie Orange looking very quick out of those who had pitted under the safety car. If we don't get one of the Haas drivers on the podium, maybe even 2, I will be extremely surprised. Still early days though, still only on lap 10 at this moment in time. Still a lot of racing action to go. Things seem to have calmed down ever so slightly. Obviously a few drivers pitting more than others because of incidents. We've had Gods and Denge and KRC pit multiple times. Mars attacking has been into the pits for a drive-through penalty as Etheridge now comes into the pits. Only 9 laps on those mediums. I do wonder, we're just following down the pit lane. It is an extremely slow pit lane here, but you do miss off the final corner and the first corner, so doesn't really lose you too much time. Are we seeing a front wing change for him? We are indeed. Yeah, he's just damaged his front wing, so he puts on the hards, clearly trying to go to the end. He will drop a long way down the order, and Denge is pushing like crazy at the moment because that's at least the 2nd penalty I've seen him pick up since the safety car got in. So his run of 2nd place looks as though it could be over, and that's just even better for Total P's, who will be more than a perfect weekend ahead at this current rate. As Paulie Orange, well held, sir, but that's not how you want to go through turn 8 and 9. You can see he's very low on ERS at the moment, so can't go into overtake because it will not be effective. It won't do anything for you. He's just relying on the slipstream and his DRS at the moment, so perhaps needs to do a bit more saving. And Denge gets ahead of Breadstick, so a swap for the two Williams. The Williams in real life have been taken over by an American investment firm, but Breadstick's fighting back at the moment. He's well within his rights to try and get back ahead of his teammate, but has to give up for now. And Cruxy in the AlphaTauri, he's got up into 9th place, so both of them in the points so far. Cruxy has had an okay start to the season, 4th in the first race, finished in Bahrain, but was way down in 13th place. It looks like he's going to get points once again as Alan. Now we're seeing the first scheduled soft tyre pit stop from Alan. Everyone else on the soft either pitted on the safety car or has retired in this race, so Alan into the pits, mediums on. Will he be able to get those towards the end, or is he going for a 2-stop? I think it's definitely doable. Do think it is possible to get those mediums towards the end, but we'll have to see. We'll see where it comes out as well. Willem Shaw just coming into the pits. Alan in free air, that's worked out beautifully for him. He is in 8th place, so don't be surprised to see Total P's coming in within the next couple of laps. Willem Shaw, his AI car, I think, still driving around and still doing a decent job. He is in 13th position. Energetic 6 on those older medium tyres has been able to make them last pretty well, catching up ever so slightly to Paulie Orange. I think more due to mistakes that the Haas drivers made more than anything else. No discredit obviously to the Renault driver, doing a good job after getting a podium last week. Could he maybe sneak into the top 3 again? He's really closing on this straight. Paulie Orange must have been outside the DRS zone. You can just see what a difference it makes. Is he able to get the cutback done to get down the inside? That would obviously become the outside for turn 13, but all of a sudden Paulie Orange a couple of laps ago looked as though he'd be fighting for second place. He's now really having to fight off Energetic 6 for third position. The dirty air will affect the Renault through these long S's all the way down from turn 14 all the way to turn 21, really, this S section, and I suppose you can include turn 22. Very twisty, and this will cost his tyres as Total P's then race leader is into the pits. Medium tyres going on to the car, so that will put Fatality into the lead of this race. It'll be interesting to see where he drops out. I'd expect it will be just behind Jonathan Cox, but he'll be in that free air, so that's good news for him. Aylin, it looks as though he'll be able to get ahead, but with the way the safety car's going, as Total P's actually very slow here, this might be a bit closer than we thought. Total P's, that's the power of the undercut. He was a lot further ahead than that, so it's down to just 1.2 seconds, and Aylin has temperature in his tyres. He needs to push like crazy to get within that 1 second window to try and maybe give himself a chance of taking the victory in this race. But the lead at the moment still yet to pit. Fatality and Energetic 6 the two yet to pit, and you can just see them there. Energetic 6 just coming by in the background with Paulie Orange, who's the first of the drivers to pit, but he will be coming in again, possibly for the soft tyres towards the end of the race. So we'll have to see what sort of pace Paulie Orange can put on this stint. He really could do with getting ahead of Fatality sooner rather than later to get a bit of free air, because I do feel, no disrespect to the Ferrari driver, that Orange is slightly quicker just from what I've seen of him, but hasn't been able to get past so far. Has been able to drop Energetic 6 though, who's now finding himself in a battle with Andenge, who I think has been in nearly every position in this race apart from first place. He briefly got up to second on lap 1 before Aylin was able to get back. Did Energetic 6 just clip the wall then, I wonder? Because it seems to take a very strange line in the Renault. Can't see any visible damage as Fatality. Oh, that's a bit... that could have ended badly there. Energetic 6, I wonder if he just cut that pit lane line, but we're seeing these medium runners come in on lap 12. That's earlier than I expected. I can see why they're doing it if they want the hard tyres to last well. And Denge coming in as well. Aylin has pushed like I said he would, fastest lap of the race, and got within DRS zone of Total P. So this is probably the most we've really seen the Mercedes under pressure all season. We're halfway through round 3, and it finally looks like we might be able to get some battle for the race win at the moment. Total P's leading, but Aylin is going to have DRS 3 times on this lap. It's up there with Bahrain and Mexico. I'm not sure if there's any other tracks, but I'm sure you guys will let me know if there is, for the most DRS zones. So Aylin, with those 3 DRS zones, just needs to use them to his advantage. Maybe be a bit careful on his tyres. There is only 1 lap difference, but you do wear out quicker when you're in the dirty air of the cars behind. After that pit stop period, and Denge actually coming out ahead of Fatality and Energetic 6. Energetic 6 going for the soft tyres, so he's another driver going for the 2-stop strategy. And if I'm being honest, I'm not sure why you would at this moment. Makes sense if you pitted under the safety car, but as I said, Hanoi, a lot of slow corners. It's only that final sector that really causes trouble for the tyres, as Aylin has briefly got ahead of Total P's, who's completely overshot turn 13. That's the first chink in the armour we've seen. And is that wing damage? That is wing damage on Total P's car. He's broke his front left end plate. I said it was looking straightforward. I said he might even look as though he could win every race this season. He's having to come into the pits. He'll have to put another set of mediums on to get them towards the end. This has really thrown everything in the order. Will Total P's even be able to get a podium? Because he's going to drop a long way down. He's going to drop behind Cruxy, I think behind Andenge, Fatality, maybe Energetic 6 as well. Front wing change. Obviously, this has dropped Total P's a long way down the order. Didn't see what happened because we have cut away to another battle. What Aylin then, net lead of this race now. He'll be going towards the end. We get the time gap up. He's 7 seconds behind Paulie Orange. I must say, still looking pretty good at the moment. 21 seconds ahead of Andenge. Obviously, Andenge will be going quicker now, so we'll have to see how that gap develops. And Total P's coming down, well, actually behind Mars Attacking. just behind the racing point. Shouldn't be too much of a challenge to get ahead, but I think fastest lap point is the best he can hope for. As long as he finishes, he's guaranteed the top 4 points for pole position. Whoever finishes and get the fastest lap point, it doesn't matter within the top 10 or not here at Hanoi. As just behind, KRC manages to get ahead of Etheridge, so that is the McLaren down into 12, and the Red Bull up into 11. Both Red Bulls outside the points at the moment. The team currently on 13.7th in the championship, so they'll be hoping to move their way up the order when a few of these drivers make their pit stops. One man I am interested to watch the progress of is Energetic 6. Just over halfway in this race, in fact. Lap 15 out of 28, and Alan, Paulie Orange, Breadstick, Jonathan Cox won't be too long before they come on to lap 16. Be interested to see how Energetic 6 does. Getting those softs to the end, I can't really see it happening. So I think he'll have to pit again and go for the softs. That will drop him a long way down the order, so if he's careful he might get these to last, but we'll have to see how that works as Cruxy into the pits on the hard tyres. Decided not to go towards the end. He'll either be putting on the softs or the mediums, as Andenge, fastest man on circuit then with a 1:38.2. Cruxy, he's another driver going to come out a long way down the order behind Etheridge, and he'll be on a set of the medium tyres, so we'll have to see how he can fight his way back up the order. Total P's in a bit of free air now on those mediums. Let's see what he can do. Andenge currently fastest man on the circuit. You can see their Energetic 6 fighting hard to try and get past Fatality, not thinking about throwing it down the inside of turn 8 and 9 as we get a brilliant shot there. All the way down both of the main straights here. See though, he's in the slipstream, he's going to have DRS. I'm not sure it's worth the Ferrari fighting this too hard, because completely the tyre differential will be about 2 seconds a lap at this moment, so a fruitless task. He realises that, just lets Energetic 6 by. Ooh, and Energetic actually goes deep into the hairpin. I thought I was going to give Fatality a chance at the cutback, but maybe if he could just get DRS off him over the next couple of laps, that might help him out ever so slightly, as we're now seeing Breadstick. The Energetic 6 goes deep. Breadstick and Jonathan Cox into the pit, so they're making their final pit stops in this race. They'll be hoping to come out roundabout this battle we are seeing at the moment, so that makes it a Haas 1-2 at this moment in time with Paulie Orange and Alan. We'll keep an eye on these guys to see where the Williams and the AlphaTauri that have just pitted come out relative to these two. I think it's going to be pretty close. Jonathan Cox might have had to make a front wing change or had a penalty, because he seems to have lost a bit more time. But yeah, they are going to come out just behind, in fact in the middle of these guys, in fact maybe even ahead. There's Breadstick, that momentum you get out of the pit lanes allowed him to go all the way round the outside of Energetic 6. That's what I said about this pit lane. It looks as though you're behind, but you feed into turn 2. So you can definitely gain some momentum, and he had that momentum there. Most tracks you have the momentum on the pit straight. That's not the case here. And Breadstick, I thought he'd actually dropped behind Fatality. He's got ahead, and Jonathan Cox must have had a penalty over front wind change. He's dropped in right behind Total P's, who has set the fastest lap of the race. But I wondered if we actually saw a bit of smoke from Jonathan Cox's car, which would be a bit weird in an online race. You get it sometimes in the GP2 cars, but Jonathan Cox has DRS, has the softer tyres. You'd expect him to get past Total P's here, and it looks like P's is going to defend the inside line. Jonathan Cox hasn't got the grip to just go later on the brakes all the way around the outside, and I think that is going to be the position done. So the AlphaTauri up into 7th, championship leader down into 8th. Can he fight back in the black Mercedes? On that camera angle, it looks ever so slightly like a dark green from that weird angle, but I can assure you it is the black Mercedes. He's down in 8th and Harrison down in 15th. So it looks like the constructors leaders at the moment aren't going to be getting the most points from this race. Total P's currently on for 9, and 5 of those are for fastest lap and pole position. So it just shows how important it is. Qualifying really does matter here in LNR, and not just for track position, as Marzatakin comes into the pits. That will drop him down to 14 for his final stop, so expect him to put the soft tyres on. Battles that could get interesting. Energetic 6 then behind Breadstick. We'll just see how this goes for 4th position. This will become 3rd when Paulie Orange pits, and he's down the inside. Goes Energetic 6, goes a bit late. He's going to have to hop over the chicane, so he wouldn't have been allowed to keep that place. He'll get another chance with DRS, but we've seen it a few times from Energetic 6. Clearly doesn't use anti-lock brakes. It is faster, but as you can see, if you get it wrong, you lock up, and then all of a sudden it's a lot slower, and he's really compromised his run down this straight. So Breadstick gets to live another day. These two will have a chance of catching up to Andenge with the fresher tyres at the moment, so could see a battle for what will become second place once Paulie Orange pits. And I did say Andenge, maybe with that penalty early on under the safety car, he was way down at the back. I said maybe his run of second places is under threat. Perhaps I shouldn't have doubted him, because he's on for second place at the moment, as we have got Paulie Orange into the pits. So he'll be coming out, I think, just behind the Breadstick Energetic 6 battle on the soft tyres as well, though, and on fresher soft tyres than both of them. So this is going to be very good for him indeed. Further back, Jonathan Cox, he's catching up to Fatality, so it won't be long, I think, before the Ferrari finds himself dropping into 7th place. Where is Paulie Orange going to come out? He will be ahead of the Ferrari, so it is actually just going to be behind these guys. In fact, Paulie Orange taking a while, and you can see the way this pit lane goes, works himself ahead of the Ferrari, nearly catching up to Energetic 6 straight away. So he has got the fresher tyres, and he's going to have DRS here, and the Renault's not had a fantastic run in the early stages of this lap. He's got nothing to defend with, and that's for Haas, up into 4th place pretty much instantly after his pit stop, as we seem to have quite a lot of leaves flying around the circuit there. Can he get his first podium of the season in the Haas? It would be his best result of the season, and of course if he does get ahead of Breadstick, that's both Haas cars on the podium. That'd be the first time that's happened in LNR history, where one team has managed to get 2 drivers on the podium. Of course, only in our 3rd race. This league is in its infancy, and we do appreciate all you guys joining. But it looks like being a straightforward victory at the moment for Alan. 12 seconds the lead. There's Gods, as Gods just getting out of the way, and Gods has actually retired from the session through the S's. Surely that's got to lead to some sort of, I was just going to say some sort of safety car. It's a virtual safety car, VSC, so I think if that had been a bit later, we might have seen Alan dive into the pits there and put the soft tyres on to maybe go for the fastest lap, but didn't feel as though he had time to do that. I can't imagine anyone else pitting, maybe some of those further down the field. In fact, we are seeing a pit stop. Energetic 6 is coming into the pits, and I can't see this VSC lasting for long, so I'm not sure that's the smartest move. That's going to drop him down to 8th position, I believe. VSC is still going on, so he'll be hoping it carries on for a lot longer. They have to drive to a delta time under VSC, as KRC gets a penalty for exceeding track limits. Maybe just taking the pit lane line too long. Harrison tried to cut the VSC ending too soon. He's got himself a drive-through penalty, which he does have to serve, so looks like last place is pretty much a certain for him. And you can see Energetic 6 has come out in 8th position, a long way behind Total P's. I can't say I get why he's done that. He might be able to catch Total P's up, but 7th place is probably the worst he would have done if he hadn't have pitted, so it was a risk for him. KRC is going to drop a long way down the order, got in that penalty as well. He's going to drop to 14th position, as we have had a move then for 2nd place. Breadstick getting ahead of Andenge. These guys are actually caught up ever so slightly under the VSC. It is possible to do that if you just time it right, and Paulie Orange is now behind Andenge as well, so maybe we could even get a Haas 1-2 here. We've got both Williams on the podium, but a Haas 1-2, Williams 3-4 looks a big possibility, as Total P's has managed to catch back up to Jonathan Cox and Fatality. I'm not sure quite what has happened there. Fatality on the outside of Jonathan Cox. This gap surely is going to close, but I wonder again if there was any catching up under VSC there underneath the rules, but Total P's has managed to jump up into 5th place. Great driving from the championship leader to do that, and now Jonathan Cox has got to get past Fatality and get past Total P's again, and the longer he goes on the soft tyres, obviously the harder it becomes. We're on lap 21 then of this race, 8 laps to go. We've had 4 retirements, both Alfa Romeos out of the race. They are really struggling this season. God's only driver for Alfa Romeo, I believe, to finish a race this season. Only full-time driver. Definitely, he's the only full-time driver driving for them tonight with Liam being absent. But they are really struggling at the moment. Is Andenge going to be able to defend from Paulie Orange? Orange decided to sit back. Knows he's got the main straight. Oh, and actually, Andenge, I'm not sure whether he went wide on purpose there or whether that was just a bit sneaky, as it looks as though it's getting very overcast all of a sudden around this circuit. And Paulie Orange there, wheel spinning his way out. Will he get DRS or will it be? He will get DRS actually, so this should still be fairly straightforward. As I'm saying, it is getting very overcast. Will we see any rain towards the end of this race? Because that could definitely spice things up if everyone has to come into the pits, especially those on the older tyres who would struggle more with drizzle on the track. That's Paulie Orange. He is now up into third, and Denge will... He's just got past. Breadstick will be his next target. 2.8 seconds though. He's been allowed to get 3 seconds ahead as Truxy gets past Etheridge using DRS on the run from turn 10 to turn 11. One of the fastest flat out sections in F1 as Aylan's into the pits. Aylan into the pits. Has he hit the wall somewhere? Have the Haas boys got a front wing waiting? No, they haven't. So, Aylan in for soft tyres. That is a... Yeah. Those mediums clearly not lasting as long as he thought they would have, and that's really turned this race on his head. Aylan's going to come out pretty much alongside Total P's. Will he be able to use that momentum to go round the outside? And Total P's, looking at it, that's a pretty dangerous pit exit looking at it when you get that sort of exit. So Total P's is in fourth all of a sudden. Aylan is fifth and has DRS. Why did the race leader pit? Because he's not going to catch up to Breadstick and Paulie Orange and all those drivers now. So why did he pit? Answers on a postcard, please. KRC's coming to the pits. After they put the soft tyres on, he's now set the fastest lap. Will Total P's be able to defend from Aylan, who I thought looked on for a certain victory? Yeah, there was no front wing change, so... Yeah, unless he thought those mediums weren't making it towards the end, I am completely stumped. But Aylan has got ahead of Total P's there. He's up into fourth place. I don't think it would have been a problem, to be honest. So, well, I might ask him that after the race and maybe give you the answer as we're just chatting after the race. But you see Aylan has managed to get back up into fourth place. So what that now means is Breadstick is in the lead of this race. And there does seem to be a lot of oil smoke coming out of a lot of these cars around this circuit. You can just tell it a bit more in this light. Breadstick only been in one race so far, did not finish in the Williams last time out in Bahrain. All of a sudden he's on for 25 points if he can keep Paulie Orange behind him. We've got a 2-second gap at the front of the field. We're finally going to see a proper battle for a race win here in LNR. Total P's has dominated so far this season. Looks like he was going to dominate today, but Aylan worked the undercut absolutely brilliantly. Then Total P's collided with a wall through the final sector, had to come into the pits. Aylan has made a second pit stop. In fact, as we look here, it's only Fatality and Etheridge who haven't made a 2 stops, and Treminator, but this could work well for Fatality. He could well finish in 8th position on that one-stop strategy. He's going to have Energetic 6 closing up to him, and Paulie Orange is going to be right on the back of Breadstick soon at this current pace as Total P's gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and Jonathan Cox manages to work his way ahead. I feel that will have been the inside of turn 8, and he just feels he was fast enough through there and that he can hold off the Mercedes down this straight. He might just do that, and both of them running pretty low on ERS. Will Jonathan Cox be able to hold off the Mercedes at this moment in time? And yes, he will. So Total P's is now down into 6th place, and he's earned himself a penalty. We'll just have a quick check of the penalty situation as well as attacking is back into the pits. We'll check the penalties for the top few drivers. Breadstick, 2 warnings, might need to calm it down a bit. Paulie Orange only with the 1, and then just served that 5-second penalty, but has another 2, so he could be out of the running. And Aylan only with a 1 warning at the moment. So Andenge, he stands to drop at least behind Aylan, maybe even behind Jonathan Cox in this race. We'll have to see. So will the Williams get on the podium? Might not even get on the podium outright here, because Aylan is obviously showing supreme pace. All of a sudden he's going to get himself up into 3rd position. Got to think this is almost an inevitability at the moment. Andenge trying to hold on, but you can see those mediums starting to struggle, and Denge having made 3 pit stops in this race. 2 of them were under the safety car as Etheridge gives up on those hard tyres. I wonder if he's been in the wall again as Breadstick gets himself a penalty. That is crucial because that means this man's leading the race, but he's damaged his front wing. Well, oh well, oh well, he's damaged his front wing. So Breadstick, if he can just get that gap back up to 3 seconds, he's now in line to win this race. And it's definitely, I thought it looked very overcast. Etheridge has put the intermediate tyres on. I can't see any rain. Look, you're starting to make me think if that oil smoke I'm seeing is just a bit of spray. We'll have a check what the timings are actually for these guys. As Breadstick... Look, you see, they're still setting pretty decent lap times. The times aren't going off. They're still setting good times, so... It's definitely not raining. I can't see any rain. Aylan's managed to get ahead of Van Denge, so he's now up into 3rd place. And you never know, Aylan could still win this race. Paulie Orange with a damaged front wing. Breadstick with a 3-second penalty. 4 laps to go at the end of this one. Could Aylan somehow, after pitting, and oh, what did I say about not seeing any rain? Because that looks like a spot on the camera. But unless it absolutely starts throwing it down, with 4 laps to go, surely it's just worth staying out. Have to see if it does come down hard enough. No one else coming into the pits at the moment. Etheridge, I think, has tried to call it a bit early. Definitely worth a shot, but you can see Willem Shaw's AI car's managed to get past him, and he is just losing time at the moment. So, might have been just a lap too early for the Mercedes driver, for the McLaren driver, sorry. They will have Mercedes engines next season, so I'm just calling into the future there as Aylan has got ahead of Paulie Orange. Paulie Orange been really struggling because of that lack of downforce at the moment, now that the conditions are getting a bit tasty all of a sudden here. Breadstick 4 seconds ahead of Aylan with a penalty, so that makes it a net 1 second. We're starting to rain, 3.5 laps to go. Anyone could take the victory here. Will anyone go on to the intermediates at the end? If you're maybe in Treminator's position in 11th, it's worth a shot going for the intermediates in case it starts absolutely pouring it down. But he has stayed out another lap, as have Willem and Etheridge. Of course, Etheridge has gone for the intermediates, but you can just see he's got no grip whatsoever. He's lost at least 8-9 seconds on the leaders in that final sector, so just got it wrong. Fatality. He's now been overtaken by Energetic 6 on the way down into the hairpin. And Denge has got ahead of Paulie Orange, who I think is really starting to suffer with that front wing. So maybe he's another one who it could be worth pitting, as Etheridge, I think, has actually gone round. And Paulie Orange has retired from the session. Has he hit the wall? Yeah, he has. I think he's just hit the inside of the wall there. And maybe just wiped off a wheel. It is possible to do that. So Paulie Orange, we're still not going to get... Well, we might get 2 cars from one team on a podium, but it might be the Williams team at this moment in time. Aylan's got that gap to within a second. They're both staying out on circuit, so Paulie Orange, right at the last minute, has retired from the race. He did that damage. It looked as though he was going to take the victory after Breadstick got the penalty, but almost straight after, he got a front wing damage, and there we see. Has really cost him big style here. So Aylan now in the net lead of the race because of Breadstick's penalty. That rain started to come down heavier, but you can just see how much time Etheridge has lost. He's lost about half a minute. Part of that was down to a spin. He's now behind Harrison. It was worth a shot if he felt like he needed to pit, but definitely not. Definitely not an ideal race for him in the McLaren after a pretty promising start to the season for the McLaren team. NUF1, who's not here tonight, managed to get points in the first 2 races. Etheridge getting points as well, so this is going to be the first time a McLaren driver, permanent McLaren driver, has taken part in a race and not scored any points. Etheridge now down into 13th. Breadstick pushing as hard as possible. He knows he needs to get that gap up to 3 seconds, but you might start seeing drivers earning more and more penalties. Fatality's actually got back ahead of Energetic 6, so those hard tyres still doing good job for him at this moment in time. If anyone would start struggling, you'd expect it to be him on the hard tyres, but seeing as he's able to keep it running pretty well, as we've got another yellow flag, and that is Willem Shaw. I'm not sure if this is his AI car. Etheridge just retired from the session, so he's lost it as well. Willem's been disqualified for parking in a dangerous position, so thankfully that won't cause any trouble, but we are now down to 12 runners all of a sudden in this race. You can see Etheridge, I think he's just got it wrong through turn 1, hit the wall on the right hand side, and that's carried him all the way towards that far barrier. Lap 27 out of 28 then. DRS is still enabled. That's another sign that it's definitely not wetted off for the intermediate tyres yet, and this time Energetic 6 will have it. Total P's picks up another 3-second warning, although he's only got 6 seconds so far, I believe, so that will keep him safe position-wise. You see there, Energetic 6 opens the DRS on that Renault, and Fatality's going to have to defend. Which way does the Renault go? The Renault goes to the outside, gets that position done into turn 6. Will the Ferrari be able to fight back out in front? And Alan, all he needs to do is keep behind Breadstick, and he will get his first victory here at LNR. Breadstick's got to be hoping now that Alan either makes a mistake or picks up a penalty to have any chance of taking the victory. And Denge, with his penalties, struggling a bit more on the older medium tyres, and Jonathan Cox might be able to get ahead of him on penalties. He might be able to get ahead of him on track, because that gap is really starting to come down and the rain is really starting to come down. But it's not going to be worth pitting at this moment in time, because you're just going to lose too much time, surely. So things are really getting interesting now. Cruxy and KRC battling. They're going to have to do this final lap on tyres which are definitely not suited for the conditions, and KRC gets himself up into 8th place as wheel banging between them on the way in. Cruxy runs wide, spins nearly. Mars attacking is now out. He's lost it through the S's. We're down to just 11 cars here. Harrison has been nowhere near anyone for pretty much the entire race. Just keeping it on track maybe for another lap might be enough to earn him, well, to earn himself some points here. We'll have to wait and see, because the leaders are catching up to him now. Alan right behind Breadstick. Final lap of the race. Is Breadstick going to be able to hold on to get the victory on track? We'll have to see. Getting close indeed. Alan and DRS open. Is he able to close onto Breadstick? Is he going to even go for the overtake, knowing that he doesn't need to? Breadstick's defended. He's in overtake mode, and I think this is going to be it. Alan's going to go down the inside. He's going to retake the win out on track after making that late pit stop, perhaps knowing that those mediums wouldn't do as well. Harrison just getting well out of the way and going to have to do a 3-point turn here. Thankfully, the rear wings are pretty hard there. He's just trying to get out of the way. Hopefully he doesn't get disqualified for going the wrong way here, but Harrison is going to finish down in 11th place as Andenge is trying to hold on from Jonathan Cox at the moment. Alan has made a mistake. Alan's made a mistake. Well. Where did that come from? Breadstick's going to win the race. Wow. The weather's just completely changed at the end here. Breadstick is going to take the victory here. Alan's damaged his front wing quite severely. Front wings have cost for Haas dearly here, because it looked like Paulie Orange was down to win. He made a mistake and broke his front wing. Alan, with a couple of corners to go, has damaged his front wing, and Breadstick, the slowest run towards the finish line you may ever see. That's not under safety car conditions. He takes the victory here. Alan finishes in 2nd place, and Denge will cross the line in 3rd place. Energetic 6 trying to gain some places in the pit lane here. I think that's very sneaky. Jonathan Cox gets promoted up to 3rd, and Denge 4th. Total P's is in 5th. Energetic 6 will cross the line in the pit lane. He crosses the line just in 6th place. Fatalities penalty will make sure he will stay 7th. You see KRC here with some wing damage. Harrison comes through in 11th. See just how close KRC is, having to really take it careful. I think one more lap and we were in intermediate conditions. KRC will cross the line in 8th. Cruxy will be in 9th, and Terminator, his patience has been rewarded with a point here. Terminator round in the final, bashing into the wall. You don't want to retire now. He would still be classified in 10th place, so he'll finish in 10th. And right at the end, it looked as though Breadstick was going to lose it. Paulie Orange damaged his front wing. Alan damaged his. Breadstick stayed on track, and he takes the victory. Breadstick, I can't argue with that. Driver of the day. Fantastic performance to keep those older soft tyres in good condition. Alan must be so gutted. The win was his. He knows it, and then the mistake at the end broke his front wing. He ends up finishing in second, but still another podium for him, and Jonathan Cox gets his first podium of the season. So as we have a look at the provisional results, because there could well be from still inquiries, Breadstick 13th to first, he takes the victory. Alan is second, Jonathan Cox third, and Denge finishing fourth after 3 pit stop. Total P's finally seen a chink in the Mercedes armour. He finishes fifth. Energetic sixth. Fatality 7th. KRC gets the bonus point for fastest lap in 8th. Cruxy was 9th. Treminator 10th. Harrison just outside the points. Mars Attacking and Etheridge are classified despite crashing out at the end. And Paulie Orange, Gods, Ole, Rick and Froglover we saw did not finish. And Willem reassures his car, obviously, he was disconnected earlier on and he was disqualified from the race. And what a race it was. And Denji is saying ice skated towards the end, sums it up perfectly. No grip whatsoever out there on the final lap. Etheridge, he tried something different. He went for the intermediate tyres. And tried something different. Didn't work out for him. I think there'll be a few drivers there sitting wondering how they didn't win that race. I think Breadstick will be sitting there almost thinking how he did win that race. He got the penalty. Paulie Orange broke his front wing. Alan got ahead of him while broke his front wing. He kept it clean. Did Breadstick. He kept it clean and he is rewarded with the victory here in round 3 at LNR. The first victory for Williams this season. The first time Total P's has won as well. But won't have harmed him too much. Total P's will still be looking pretty good in the championship. Only finished 1 place behind Andenge, so the gap will be down to just... Actually, he will have extended his gap of getting pole position, of course. So he'll actually be 24 points ahead heading into the next round, which will be China, and that is another circuit in this part of the world that can quite easily have a wet race. Thank you all so much, guys, for watching, and I will see you next Saturday. Will we see maybe another new winner here at LNR? I don't think many of us expected Breadstick to get the victory here, but Murray Walker said it. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. Good night.